me. Oh my God. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the No Cap Space postgame show. Oh my God. What did we just witness?
Greer, your hair looks nice. I see you. You're stiff wear. Come on.
I had grand visions. Grand plans. I was just telling Tyler before you got on here. All day, I've been looking at LA to the Midwest. How can I get there? How can I get there for Sunday? How can I be there for, I think the game was going to start, it's still going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. How can I get there? How can I leave tomorrow night, LA, and wake up in Ohio? I'm not doing that. Aborting mission. Hats off to the Hawkeyes. They did what they were supposed to do. They did. They were the number one seed in their region and the toughest region in the entire tournament, and they won the game. I don't even know how they obviously outscored UConn in the second half. Right, we were tied 51-51, and then they did what they were supposed to do. I got some enemies that I want to run through real quick. If you don't.
Not a hit list. Go ahead. Let's
the list real quick.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start with just the Zebras in general as a collective. Second half, absolutely horrendous officiating. I saw it on the timeline. No matter who you're affiliated with, what your alliance is, even you. I saw you on the timeline. Okay. Hey, even you.
Okay.
My phone is blowing up all second half. Like, can you believe this shit? And yes, I can. So, moving on to my list. I love them to death. But the players, like you guys had to know as seniors in particular, that this is who the powers that be want to be in the final. They want South Carolina and Iowa. And
Chris said the script was written.
Oh, my third eye is open.
The script was written.
That's who they want. That's what you know what I'm saying? You can't leave any
Bob Iger made the call.
Make decisions. You can't, you know what I'm saying? So like you couldn't.
Yo, what world are we in that UConn is now this
the Caitlin Clark world where she's got 12 million people watching the game on a Monday night. That's the world we're living in. Where we
sound like y'all ain't got the juice.
Right.
Sound like y'all ain't got the juice no more.
Woo! For her, right? Like she is the moment. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you were watching the game, you heard Sue and DT and they were asked a question like, if you were the GM or starting a WNBA team, who would you take? And Sue was quick to say Caitlin just because of the draw that she has, right, with the public, right? And so, like, yeah, just you had to know that in a close game, you don't want to be leaving it up to the refs. So, going back, but continuing with my list.
I've just never seen like an active like.
Love him to death, but I don't even understand the play call for Paige where Aaliyah does the offensive foul. I don't understand it. Like, this is Iowa. Who on this fucking team is stopping Paige Bueckers one-on-one? Give her the fucking ball. She's coming off of cute little screens and Nika's coming to the baseline and kicking it back out. Like, what are we doing? Making it more complicated. And it's just like time too. Like, if something goes wrong, we don't have time is not on our side. The play that took too long to develop. So, you know, she came down, Nika hit her in transition for the three, like just quick things. And, you know, I hate to see the season. I hate to see their time playing together end in that way. You know what I'm saying? The refs, the entire second half was abysmal. But that last call in particular was disgusting. But shout out to Caitlin and the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're going to the national championship. This is, you know, I don't know if they're going to get it done, but if they get it done, I've been telling you guys in the chat for a couple of days now, like, you got to salute. You got to salute because this will be the hardest championship that anyone's ever won. Definitely since, like, me and you've been breathing, Shawnee. for sure, easy, no doubt.
Yeah. My qualifications are a little less.
But this is the hardest road that anybody will have had. So if she does it,
man, there's gonna be some dialogue to be had. Like,
hold on, I didn't make the list. Am I on there?
No,
not yet.
Oh, you didn't see my timeline then.
Not yet. Not until after your ISO. After your ISO.
I'm gonna come back to it. Actually, let me peruse. Let me see.
She said there's still a possibility.
Hold on. Yeah. But they Nika played the game of her fucking life, and
the legacy game. The legacy game.
Oh my god!
That first half of defense was some of genuinely the best defense.
Masterclass.
Even the second half, Caitlin
it was still good.
Maybe 16 or 18
she made some more shots,
but this is a player who just came off of scoring 41.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly, Nika had her overthinking a lot. She was real passive, and it's I get trusting your teammates, and wanting to get them involved for big moments. Because Big Stolt, the spirit of Nano washed over, and Big Stolt, Big Stolt. Shut up. Sorry. Big Stolt woke up, but it was just there were times where I was like, Caitlin, take that shot, take her off the dribble, take her to. I'm gonna get to her.
Sorry. Yeah.
But there were times where I think Nika had her kind of second guessing and being a little too passive. So that was a big part of her defense, not even just contesting a shot, but getting her to overthink and not be as aggressive as she usually was. So if you a coach, you play this game tape and you showed Nika strapping up, and that's your teaching tool right there, because she put on a masterclass defensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However,
go ahead. So, your turn, Shawnee. It's your ISO time. It's
okay. So I knew coming into this, it was going to be the battle of who's going to get more calls. You know what I'm saying? The battle of America's darlings. And, so I didn't think the refs were going to be that much of a factor. But I was kind of tweeting in the second half, the refs did become more involved. And I'll have to go back and sit with it. But just initially, based on what I was seeing when I was tweeting, it seemed like there were horrible calls both sides. So it's yes, they were being terrible, but it was really stupid on both sides. So then we get down to that final call. And no, I don't like it. So we can say, whatever I've said on the timeline, I didn't like the foul. I didn't let them play through it. It's a screen. Nobody felt if she had chicken wing her and she fell out.
We've seen Edwards lean into screens before.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that.
Exactly. So if she falls out, then you got to call it. But other than that, let them play on, because they were letting them play for a little bit. So I don't like the call. However, my thing is, coming into this game, you had Luigi Oriema in the pressers, right? Paige is the best in the world. Paige is, and I know this because I've coached the best in the world. Who gonna tell me? You had the clip from the McDonald's All-Americans kids. Who would you take? Juju, Caitlin, Paige. All of them said Paige, and 2 of them said Juju. Nobody said Caitlin. And it's you don't have to. That's fine. That's cool. But we have all of this fanfare for Paige, and rightfully so, because she's been on a tear. And I feel in this game, she did not show up in the way that all of these, praises were hyping her up to, because we was expecting a battle. So if Nika's clamping up on Caitlin, Gabby Marshall did her thing, but I don't think she was as masterful on defense.
To the same level as Nika.
You're not
exactly.
That's not your matchup, even though still
exactly.
Paige, Kate Martin only had maybe 11 points, 13 points maximum.
Hey, but Kawhi Martin was hitting them
those last couple plays. Yeah.
Hey.
11, and I feel at least 5 to 7 of those were in the last 5 minutes of the game where she was dream shaking on people.
Yeah. And so to me, if Paige is as aggressive as she's been the last several games we've seen over this tournament, and she's doing what she needs to do to put her fingerprints on the game from the jump, I don't think it comes down to this last call. Because as much as people want to say this was the, Iowa is the media darlings and they want to do this, Paige is still her. Paige just sat in there and gave the most glowing interview response and had the world on her side. Everybody cheering for her. Like, Paige is not like this scrappy underdog from a no-name team. She's Paige Bueckers. Like, people love her. So it's like, I think if she had been more aggressive and Gino would have, I don't know what the style was, because they tried to dump it down to Aaliyah Edwards, and you want to get her going, but I don't think that's where the matchup was to be exploited. Because, again, Big Stolt pulled up and put on her big girl draws and said, we here, let's bang. Mm-hmm. So you got to exploit Paige on Gabby Marshall's.
Well, they were collapsing a lot on Aaliyah. They went zone in the second half, and that, which was like, again, like, we shouldn't have struggled with the zone.
The zone was interesting because we've seen Paige like carve up zones throughout this tournament.
Exactly. And she's a mid-range wizard. Yes,
like when she gets to that free throw line extended area. And there were definitely times where like the zone, like I don't know, honestly, how many times it happened, but I know I definitely saw it multiple times where the far wing would almost kind of follow Paige and almost man up with Paige, and the other four be in maintain that 2-3 zone. So she isn't really getting in that mid-range area where we saw her carve up. I think it was Duke that game, especially, where she was really operating at that kind of free throw line area. But that's something that we've seen. Like that's Paige's game.
It's just, again, Shawnee, you've been saying it for the last 4 years. I mean, really 2.5, the time that she's actually been healthy.
Yeah.
It's just we know you're obviously capable when the lights are brightest of doing things, because we've also seen that too. But it's, why aren't you commanding the ball?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you commanding the ball? Because there was like 3 plays where I think Ice hit 2 jumpers and Aaliyah hit a jumper, and it's like, okay, hold on, like we're
kind of breaking that zone down a little bit.
Like, okay. But then it was like there was just too many times in this fourth quarter in particular where Paige did not touch the ball on our offensive possessions. Simple.
Like y'all are looking for KK to hit a big, and she's capable of doing that as well. But it's just like, again, you don't have Dawn Staley in a video praising Paige for, how she's able to operate from literally any point on the floor. And you're looking for freshman KK down the stretch. That doesn't make sense to me. And that's where Gino has been saying this for years too. Like, he knows he has a generational talent. She got to have that dog in her and really like force the issue. And that's where I'm saying. So my mentions are on fire right now. But what y'all don't know is I muted the tweet because I said y'all going.
What was the tweet? I haven't seen the tweet.
I think it's this one. I think I've got it.
What is the tweet?
Okay, I think it's this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shawnee.
Let's play again. Yeah, guess the tweet.
Y'all gonna blame the refs and not Paige turning into Liberty Finals Stewie.
Yeah. Yeah. Because remember, we had the wanted posters of Stewie. We had the wanted posters of Stewie. Stewie's not commanding the ball. JJ's fighting for her life. Slack Mamba's off, puking or whatever. Anyway, that's how I feel. I feel like if Paige really, especially when you have that momentum in the first half, because it was looking scary for Iowa. Mm-hmm. It was looking very scary. You build up that momentum.
Points at half. Yeah. We were supposed to win that game. Period. Point. We were supposed to win.
There's no.
We had an Iowa team that just put up 94 or 97 points against LSU. Mm-hmm. We had 26 points at the half.
It was a complete, like, how often can you say that I guess they went on the run kind of towards the very, very end of the first half. But how often can you say that Iowa doesn't get going on some type of level for that amount of time? That doesn't happen very often. And it's usually the answer, whether you're going to beat Iowa or not, is usually how do you respond how do you answer that question when they do get rolling? And that entire first half, UConn dictated the entire game. And they had a decent cushion. But, obviously we know the type of offense that Iowa is to battle back against that cushion. And it never felt like it, no matter how big the lead felt, it still felt small. And
it was like UConn had all of the pieces that the previous teams did not have, right? Because who'd they play first? Holy Cross? Holy Cross was beating the shit out of Caitlin. Laying her out, but they ain't had that's really all they had. So they got blown out. Then you see West Virginia again. They beat the crap out of her, but they didn't have they didn't have the offense. Then you see Colorado. They had the IQ and they had some of the pieces, but they again didn't they didn't clamp up on her like they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to LSU and
they had the
they
size.
didn't have the coaching. They didn't have the coaching.
Yeah, but then with that's where the size aspect comes in. With the other like kind of thing that you look at to beat Iowa is defense and size, and then obviously like
and offense and a superstar.
It's
so like UConn
checks
that.
all boxes when it comes to how you want. Like if you could build a team, like obviously South Carolina, but I can't think of too many teams that all around check the boxes to beat Iowa. Then
you have the defense. You have a player like Nico who can strap up. You have a generational player in Paige, so that should be generating your offense. You have solid role players to neutralize your Kate Martins, your Hannah Stolkes, your Gabby Marshalls. You have a generational coach, right? So you don't have Kim Mulkey out there playing FanDuel ball, doing whatever. So you should have all of the 4 elements together to beat Iowa, and I feel like they was missing Paige.
There's just no excuse, really.
Yeah.
No, refs be damned. Like I'm
like the call is sickening at the end, but that's not the reason. Yeah. It's not like and like to Shawnee's point, I do feel like relatively like there was just. I mean, we've seen how these refs have been this tournament. It's nothing new, frankly. Like it sucks, but it's nothing new. But it doesn't come down to
you can't leave it in their hands.
Exactly.
In their hands, and
exactly.
And I feel like that's the thing. Like I don't know. That's gonna be the talking point. That's gonna they're gonna do that to discredit Caitlin and say like she didn't actually earn it. She got carried, but it's just like. I put the screenshots on the other day. She didn't shoot a single free throw against Colorado. She didn't have to. She shot 5 of 7, but LSU actually had 14 free throws and Iowa had 13. So it's like, this journey.
Today was 4 for 4. And that's obviously included the intentional.
Wait, what did she shoot from the field? Because at one point it was 5 for 14. The last
7 of 18, 3 of 11 from.
Shawnee.
What's the free throw count?
4 for 4, and that's obviously.
No, I meant like UConn versus.
It was such a limited foul.
There weren't a lot of fouls.
That's what I'm saying.
UConn had 4 free throws the entire game. Iowa had 14. So it's a disparity, but they're also. I think you look at just the foul count overall. UConn had 18 fouls called on them. Iowa had 9.
Yeah, like come on now.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, because like Iowa wasn't playing that physical a defense. UConn was just kind of turning the ball over. Like that's another thing. They were both out of sorts because UConn's defense was forcing turnovers, and then UConn's offense was forcing turnovers on themselves. So it's kind of like. Y'all can only play one side of the ball like that. But it's gonna turn into the refs helped her out. The refs got her to the finals. The refs want to
it shouldn't turn into that, but I cannot ignore
it is going to. I promise you.
I mean it shouldn't, but I cannot ignore.
It's just not the like it sucks like that
it's a terrible call.
Like it is unfortunate. But that's I agree with you, Shawnee, that's what it's probably going to just generally turn into, like just across the dialogue about the game. But that's not the reason. There's just it's not like there's so many different like because the thing is, frankly, the duo of Clark and Stolke outplayed Edwards and Paige.
Facts.
Like and I don't think most people. I feel like you would have had Caitlin and Paige maybe in the tier here, then Edwards. And then Stolke, like when it came to just the tier list of and the star power and the talent overall, and Stolke showed out. And where there were so many teammates that were not showing out for Iowa with missed shots and things of that nature. When Caitlin, usually the driving kick that is working so fluidly for Iowa, wasn't hitting the way it usually does with how Caitlin was distributing the ball today, and then the teammates missing shots. But Stolke showed
and that was another thing, though. Iowa left a ton of points on the floor. Caitlin was throwing some absolute dimes. Like, she fit them into some insane windows. That one, she got to Gabby, like, right under the basket, and Gabby tried to reverse it, and she missed it. So that one was a tough one, but, like, all the other ones, I was like, y'all got to hit those. Like, y'all got to hit those. And UConn did not take advantage of those type of opportunities where you're neutralizing Paige and forcing her to become a playmaker, and they're not making the plays off of it, and then you're not scoring off of the missed opportunity. So I don't know, man. It's the dialogue is going to be nasty, but it's a lot to dissect here, and it all goes back to Luigi. What was your game plan? Because why was your star not bringing the ball down? I've seen all year there have been kind of the arguments of how do you play Nika and Paige because both of them are playmakers and blah 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 blah. It's money time. Right. Paige should have had that ball in her hands.
It's not even a choice. It's not even a choice. Especially with how dynamic Paige is, whether it be the mid-range pull-up, driving to the rim, whatever it may be, just get the ball in her hands and dare someone on Iowa to make a stop.
Listen, 3 on UConn Mount Rushmore were watching and going, why are we running that play? Why are we running that play? That's, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure the one that's 4th on the Mount Rushmore that's also in the building was wondering the same thing.
So what you're saying is they think Luigi's lost his touch?
I wouldn't go that far, but
hold on a minute.
Is it time to yell at him?
Come on, just let her cook. Let Paige cook.
Yeah.
I think Paige needs to let Paige cook as well. And decide to get in the kitchen. Because there's
hold on. We gotta omit that clip.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. We gotta omit that clip, brother.
Like that.
We gotta scrub it.
Hold on. I have analogy too far. But no, I think that at some point there just has to be a decision from Paige that I'm gonna go win this game for us. And I don't think that switch, and that's something that this isn't the first time we've talked about this, where just that switch hasn't, flipped. Frankly, but
it flipped, but there was no wire on the other side.
Oh
damn! Damn!
Man!
Damn.
Oh no! And she got to do that. And that's got to be the thing. Obviously, we're not gonna get to see it until late next year. But when AZ comes back, that's also been her issue. She's not aggressive in the clutch, despite being extremely talented and having the skill set to really change a game. So you can't have 2 folks scared, when it's money time. That's when things fall apart. Because are they going to put in what's that girl name? Inez? The one I call Caitlin Clark.
Portuguese Caitlin Clark. Yeah.
Portuguese Caitlin Clark.
But because that's when you think when I think about this next season before Paige enters the W, what does she need to work on? That feels like it is just
okay. What's also now she's
here you go.
Go
ahead.
That second wave of
go ahead.
Go ahead. If you've been watching a lot of the media and stuff that they've been doing, Paige was talking a lot about playing in Cleveland and watching the 2016 finals, the NBA finals, right?
That's
Kyrie hit the shot, right? That's right.
Yeah, that's 2016.
Also said that Kyrie is her favorite player, and when I heard that, how
I see where you're going.
You keep it and you store it, and it's I'm gonna come back to that. I don't know. I'm gonna find a moment to come back, and this is my moment now because it's all this motherfucker. Let's win the game. All that don't matter, man. Let's win the game. Let's win the game. All that I don't care. You could have went 7 for 18. If we won, fuck it.
Yeah.
And that's how you want to go down. You want to go down with Paige as the captain of the ship. Yeah. That's how you want to go down.
She ended the game. She was 7 of 17 when she ended it, but it doesn't feel like that. Just off the vibes of the game, I wouldn't have imagined honestly that she even had that many shots put up. I feel like
all I remember is that one in transition, because I know I tweeted, I was like, paging Paige Bueckers, you're needed on offense, and then she hit that shot. So I don't remember her hitting one. So I feel like most of that came in the first half. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
you can fact check me now. I'm not hating. I might be mistaken, but it felt like majority of her offensive work was done in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a game. It was a run for UConn in the sense of this tournament run that they let slip by. Like once you get down to it, they made it all the way to the Final Four, and it didn't feel like it was like a gassed thing, like with just like the numbers. I just don't think they made the right plays at the right time. Frankly.
Yeah, Iowa's depth didn't even kill us. They didn't run a whole lot. Like they
didn't have pace the whole first half. So that was kind of the worry coming in, was that Iowa would run them out the gym.
I'll tell you exactly what I said. I was texting my best friend, and she said, like, "What are your thoughts?" I said, "I think the pace favors us. This Iowa offense has 26 points at the half. Paige and Aaliyah can still turn things up. Caitlin's worked really hard for the little that she does have, and I like where we are." Like, all of those things were true. And then they weren't.
Yeah. And it's really that simple. Like it just flipped. Like as soon as Iowa like came up for air, they never got put back under the water. Like it just sickening, frankly. Like and
yeah.
Once
they took that 10-point lead, I was like, yeah, this is over. Because like they're in the driver's seat, they can just whittle away at the clock. Because it's looking like nobody is stepping up and nobody's going to be doing what needs to be done, and that's being a superstar playmaker.
Yep. Man,
shout out Big Stove for real.
Shout out to Big Stove.
Big Stove.
She was the one that she was the one. She was the like. I mean, she outscored Caitlin in this game. She had 23, and Caitlin had 21. Like 9 or 12, 5 or 7. Well, here I'll show you right here. Paige Bueckers, 17. Here's how it spread out. Like I said, I mean, frankly, Stolke was the difference in this game. Like to me, like I said, and being able to, frankly, like outproduce. Like she didn't have the rebounds that Edwards had, but just outproduce. And it's crazy because it felt like everyone on UConn, like the way that the freshmen started this game out, I was like, because I was kind of like, always kind of worry, obviously first Final Four and everything, just to see how people are going to come out. And I felt that both KK and Ashlyn both came out ready to go. Like they were immediately making impacts on either side of the floor. And it just kind of, I don't want to say faded away because KK was still making impact plays throughout like the game. She had the steal at the very end. Things of that nature. It just, it felt like a recipe for.
I noticed you also didn't play this game. She didn't get any minutes. Interesting choice in hindsight, Kaden Samuels. Because she's a player.
She would have been an interesting one.
I
hear that.
Yeah, she's a player who could do some shit against Iowa.
Yeah.
She probably could have stopped them Kate Martin turnarounds.
Man, that's a crazy way to go out.
She hit 2 of them joints over Paige. I said, what?
Yeah, I could, and it was good defense. Like it was just like crazy ass, like what are you supposed to do type shots? Like that's the Haley Van Lith shrug.
It reminded me of her freshman year when she went up against Ari McDonald. Man, and it got a little spooky.
Yeah.
Dana can you pull up that question?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Did anyone have their draft stock affected tonight, good or bad?
I think Nika's maybe in.
I would say Nika. I feel like if anyone was, I don't think Aaliyah, because I feel like when it comes like to where Aaliyah is, like it's not like, she didn't have like a bad game by any means, and like she's kind of like after Camilla and Cam, like if teams need a big, Aaliyah's the one. Like it's kind of no question.
Okay, wait, take that back. I don't know if you guys were listening to the Sue and DT, but they had Cam Brink on.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And she could only name WNBA players who were on the screen, so maybe Cam Brink because she doesn't watch the league.
Yes, and DT put her on blast for fouling out.
It feels like she doesn't really watch the league, so maybe her, Dana. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't. I think if anything, it'd be Nika's for being good, especially as we've seen like an Amore decide to stay in college, like for teams that are needing a guard. Obviously, very different types of guards with that, but just if you're just going for a guard, just to kind of fill that position. I think Nika would probably be the most positive one, but I don't think anyone plummeted or anything like by any means.
Big Stoke on the watch list 2 years.
Big Stoke yeah.
Big Stoke said put me on your big board for 20. What are we in? 2026.
Yeah.
The world is still here. I need to be in the lottery.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't think anyone was too majorly impacted. I think Nika would be the only one, but man, that's crazy. There was another game today, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
we can kind of touch on it. Obviously, it wasn't as exciting, but South Carolina absolutely did their thing in the second half. First half was a little close. It's a little close. But Camilla. I mean, that's a take, y'all. Thanks for coming, everybody. No, like but I mean, come on, man. Camilla was a cheat code in this game, and then also Watkins off the bench with 20 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
That's insane.
That's big time. Like, and I don't think anyone was really surprised to. Obviously, we know NC State's strength is their guard play, and Sinai Rivers struggled in the game across the board. Isaiah James did. I mean, I was 20 points, so still was able to produce kind of in the way that she has been over the course. I don't know if she's had a game below 20 points throughout this entire tournament run. I want to say no. Incredible run for her over the course of this tournament. Was absolutely incredible. But Shawnee, I mean, this is your squad. Like, what were the takeaways? Like I said, obviously first half much closer. Third quarter on, it was a breeze.
It's gonna be a breeze. And honestly, it's how I expected it to be because I feel like our guards were real kind of tight in the first half. Camilla, I said pass the ball to Camilla until she can't feel her hands. Yep. It should be 2 sets of fingerprints, Camilla's and whoever's passing Camilla the ball. I don't want to see nobody else touching it. Move. And so then I got a little nervous at the end when she hurt herself because I was like, we're playing stiff, and now our anchor just went out. But then like we came out, Pow finally started hitting. Breezy hit a big shot, and that's when everybody kind of started, exhaling and playing their game. So I think it really just took that first half to kind of get the nerves, get the jitters. There was a lot of pressure. I know this is supposed to be a rebuild year. I know this is supposed to be, a young team playing free, but like there is that pressure because 1, we're undefeated, and 2, this has been, labeled the revenge tour. And then you have the storylines about wanting to win it, and then Aaliyah Boston's in the building and things of that nature. So there was pressure for them to win this game, no matter what anybody says. Yeah. And I think, they handled it as expected for a young team. And, then like I said, I'm proud of them all season. They've just been figuring it out. And this was another one of those ones. They just dug deep and figured it out.
Yeah. Shawnee, I want to direct your attention to a certain comment here. I feel like this comment was made for you. All right. River Baldwin did her best Jenna Johnson impression today. The Jenna Johnson truth or Shawnee?
I'm not going to put that on River. River kind of, to me, did her best Haley Van Lith. Because River, like Camilla was doing whatever she wanted and was shooting 100% from the field at the half. And it was just like her hands are straight up. Her body is, on her. And it just was going in the basket. And I'm like, that's kind of demoralizing. Like, you don't matter. Like, you doing everything. You don't matter in this sense. So I feel like she was closer to Haley Van Lith than to Jenna Johnson.
Yeah.
I want to also kind of go back to Dana's question. Is anybody for this game? Is anybody improving their draft stock? Camilla, her whole tournament run
been massive. Like there's some conversations to be had.
Like I shouldn't be available past the number 2 pick.
Like obviously Cam Brink is Cam Brink, but there's at least conversations to be had.
The way she's playing on offense and defense right now. She's 6'7" at the end of the day, y'all. Yeah. Yeah, we've already seen her play against against grown women and handle it.
Good point.
And there was a joke made on the Bird and DT show. It was hilarious. But I think that kind of factors into things because, like, as you're saying that, I'm kind of like, Camilla, I think Cam would be better in space. But it's also like Cam has to be available and stop taking herself out of the game because they was talking and Kelsey Plum, they was like, if I was Haley Van Lith, I just fouled out. And then DC was like, speaking of foul out, Cam Brink is in the building. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, Cam, it was funny. Cam was
she's a trooper.
Cam was taking a beating, but DT was on her ass with the jokes. But she was a good sport. I mean, listen, we know she be trash talking, so it's you got to give and take.
DT's hazing is psychological, it's physical, it's emotional. I'm gonna take you through the full range of things, and it's starting before you even lace them up. Like
I know the Pac-12 was like, yeah, whack her again. Whack her for me. Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again. But yeah, and so that to me is kind of a thing that separates the two of them, because a lot of the times Cam's fouls, like half of them are silly. Like you didn't need to do all that.
She talked about that, like where she feels like her biggest area of growth in the W is she deemed it paraphrasing, but essentially like she wants to make an impact so bad on every possession that she throws herself into bad situations to try and do so. And she like mentioned that like directly. I don't remember if it was before or after the foul out joke. But she mentioned that directly as like for like her growth, like where she can grow in this rookie season is figuring that out and trying to determine.
That's gonna be insane, bro. You're gonna have to figure that out against JJ, against Asia, against AT,
have fun. That's
Tierra McGowan.
That's a hell of a learning
Brown, like
Lexi Hole 2.0.
Lexi Hole 2.0, man. Hey, but hey, shout out to Lexi. She came out stronger. As do we stress.
Yes. It always comes back to the Liberty.
It always comes back to it. They suck so bad. Oh my god. Just garbage.
But no, I mean this team. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you hear Stewie was like, I just want them to win because they haven't won since I left, and it's like I want that weight off of me.
Oh,
what weight on you, girl? You need to be focused on you winning. You ain't won since you left, and I'm lying. That's absolutely not true.
I have to fact check you.
Yeah, that's not true. But
we know you hating, but
yeah, you ain't won since you left. We just look that negated that wobble. Take that wobble, get that Mickey Mouse IMG Academy title out of here, bro. After that last finals, get it out of here. But let me tell you something. Going back to the Iowa game, y'all better be glad y'all won, because they had that clip of Slap Mamba delivering them Nikes to them, and I said, "Ooh, if they lose, boy, that's when I would have looked."
You can still use it if South Carolina wins.
It's too. It needed to be tonight. I'm a hater, but like there's a method to what I got going on. Yeah. Because I was like, she should have dropped them shoes off like DoorDash. No contact. Keep it pushing, loser. She came and visited UConn, and I think that's also the problem. Why are y'all letting losers in your locker room? You have Maya Moore out the house. Maya has been outside. She's got her outside headband.
Outside headband, outside boots.
Her boots, she playing the drums. Come on now. Yeah. And you let Slack Mamba get the spirit of mid all up in your locker room. That's what happened. She
won a commissioner's cup. That's it.
That's what happened.
How did we
they met Iowa first, and then somebody had tweeted me and said apparently they went and gave UConn some shoes, so she met them too. I just don't really be keeping up with UConn like that. But they met her second. Paige got infected. Slack Mamba ruined the game.
That's the agenda. But it's funny that you guys mentioned Stewie. What is your problem? That was the most cartoon accurate trash can I've ever seen. But it's funny you mentioned Stewie, because now, first off, before we move on to the next topic, shout out to everyone in here right now. Make sure y'all subscribe, because we're gonna be back here after this national championship game that we about to talk about right now. So make sure you're subscribed and hitting that bell. But Stewie was asked earlier today. I forget who asked it, so I apologize for not having the source available. But she was asked basically, can Caitlin be one of the GOATs without a championship? And she said no. It was pretty much that simple of an answer. Like it was pretty much that straightforward. Yeah,
I mean, you can't ask Brianna Stewart that. Like that's
right.
Let's ask Sanaya Chong, maybe. I don't know. Like let's. But you ask somebody that has the accolades that she does, the individual awards won, and then the titles, and it's like, of course her view is going to be skewed, because now you're asking her, do you think she's in the same range as you? And she's a world-class athlete, so no. This little girl, she ain't me. I'm her. But in the reality, I like what Andrea Carter said a couple of days ago. Like, Stewie had like 12 WNBA players, including Sanaya Chong, on that team. So it's kind of like,
come on now.
Look, no, what I'm saying is Stewie did
misinformation, y'all.
She probably elevated the play of like players 9 through 12, but like, you know, she has a lot of, how many people are going to the draft off this team?
Maybe only Stokey.
In 2 years. So that's not even going to be because of Caitlin. I mean, that's not going to be fully because of Caitlin. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of like, I think that has to account for something. She took a program, elevated in a way, twice. Because nobody thought they were going to be here. Like we said, Iowa was kind of, I don't want to say overrated, but like we weren't really checking for them at the beginning of the year. Like you obviously give them the respect for being the runner-up, but it was still kind of like, okay, they got to prove that wasn't a fluke, and you know what happened, and then they did. So I'm kind of like, she did that to me in the same way that Asia did for South Carolina. So yes, I would like for her to get the title to like solidify that, but she can't because she's playing South Carolina, so that's not going to happen. But also, like Asia did it too.
Win either way. How does it feel to win either way?
Conflicting, because it's like I lose also. So it's like, I mean, it's kind of, it's going to be like
be an optimist.
Yeah, it's just like I won, but at what cost?
You know what I would do to win?
What do you mean at what cost? At the cost of maybe the most meaningful championship ever? Like, it's not.
Do you know what I would give to win? Anything?
Yeah, like, I want to see it, you know? I mean, shocker, I don't want South Carolina to win. But
after we open you with open arms and Bojangles, how dare you?
What about
the hospitality?
What about the Go Cox chants?
Wow,
those mean nothing.
We yelled Cox together. How could you?
I mean,
but like that would solidify the legend, because if
like
she does,
there would be some crazy dialogue and like reasonable but crazy dialogue that would have to be had if she goes back to back and wins the championship.
Like, you take A&M when they won. Like, no shade. It's taken Sydney Colson forever to become the face of the WNBA.
Okay.
It just happened. You know
I don't know why is she getting whacked. Like, that's a crazy stray.
Or you go back to 2006 when Maryland won. Like, you know, so these were like teams that were not super heralded coming in, you know, and it's definitely more by, you know, that C word. That they're accomplishing this feat together. You know what I'm saying?
What's C word? Hold on. What?
No,
Never mind. Keep going.
We'll come back to it. Tyler caught me. He got it.
Okay. I'll have to watch back.
Yeah, Caitlin doing this. She is the OC. I am the C. I am the big CC if she does it. Like, I want to be able to witness that kind of history. Like, no shade. We've seen teams go undefeated.
Yeah. I think
I've never seen what Caitlin has a chance to do.
And that's kind of another thing that I don't think people don't want to give it credit. Like, going back to all of this, right? I understand that there are some unseemly people cheering for Caitlin. So people don't want to see racist and the Barstool guy, and maybe Ted Lasso gets on your nerves. I don't know. People don't want to see certain people happy. So they cheer against her because they want them unhappy. I completely understand that. But what I need people to also understand is I don't think we've seen a player enter a championship game with this much pressure and actually deliver in the way that she has. Because for you to have a personal reporter that nobody likes covering you and putting an even bigger target on your back after the scoring record they've, you know, there's been discussions and dialogue about like, oh, well, don't be excited about this because what about these two legends that we weren't talking about before? And, you know, don't be excited because she's doing this. So you would become the focal point. You would become somewhat of the white savior of the W. And you become a polarizing figure literally for doing nothing.
Hooping.
Because just hooping.
Merely hooping and existing.
Exactly, because like Haley Van Lith leans into the trash talking and leans into the making promises, the free smoke tour, this, that, the third. Caitlin, she's fiery on the court, but outside of that, she don't really do anything. So you would become the most polarizing figure in women's basketball. You're being crowned the savior. You're on First Take being in GOAT discussions. It's leaving a bad taste in people's mouth, both professionally and in the league, to where now they want to knock you off. Or they're licking your chops, waiting on you, or they're talking about like, oh yeah, at the next level, this ain't gonna happen, and she's still delivering.
When I say I hope she's bookmarked every one of the tweets from the pros, because that hate, that was sick to watch in the game against Colorado and LSU, just to see. And don't get me wrong, these are like world-class defenders, but how I would have, man, shut up. We didn't ask you all that. Appreciate it.
Because y'all still going under screens when you guarding Sabrina. So actually, I want everyone to calm down just a little bit. Because I've been pissed off all season last year of y'all going under those goddamn screens. She should not be getting those shots off. She has cinder block feet. I'm sorry, Vera. Go ahead.
But you're absolutely right. Yeah. Like the target is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and she's still delivering.
Mm-hmm. It's also, I saw a lot of tweets and people saying today that like, people saying that nobody in the W is going to be able to guard her. Look at tonight. And I don't think people are quite understanding the difference in the scheme and how people are going to be able to guard her in the W, because the way that they factor everything into guarding Caitlin, she's going to have Aaliyah Boston on the court next to her. She's going to have Kelsey Mitchell next to her. Like, she's going to have...
Right, so the best defender is not even going to be guarding Caitlin. That's what I need everyone to understand. They're not going to be focused in on Caitlin as much as she is right now. This is... I'm not going to say the hardest, because there might be some switches to where she has her welcome to the W moment, where she gets a Brittany Sykes, where she gets a Jordan Canada or somebody of that nature, or Jackie Young. Right. So she's definitely going to have those moments when somebody comes across her. But like from start to finish, like Nika Mule was closer to Caitlin tonight than Holly Rowe all night from the opening tip. She is not going to see that in the W, because she's not going to be the focal point of the offense. She just isn't. So I think it's going to be what Sabrina is supposed to be. A solid role player that can get you some buckets, that can make some passes, except better.
It all comes for full circle every time.
I'm on your head tonight, Slap Mamba. Get away from her.
Every time.
Get a job. First of all, why are you not in somebody's gym? You're not good enough to be out here just being a brand ambassador. You don't just get on my nerves, but I'm off topic. I'm off topic.
Okay, like if you've appreciated Shawnee just for the limited post games that we've done, absolutely come back for the W season.
Oh my god!
This is just an appetizer.
The W season, it's turned up.
Y'all go follow No Cap Space on Twitter, because I'm gonna live tweet one of the Liberty games. I'm gonna figure out which one. I'm gonna get the password.
It's in the description.
I gotta find which game they play Rebecca Allen. That's gonna be the one.
Oh man.
See, Magnolia gets it. Yes, everyone, please subscribe for your own quality of life. That's what I like to hear. That's what I'm talking about. All I heard, rumors are saying that if you subscribe to No Cap Space, you get clear skin and good hoops. That's what I heard. Scientifically proven by me.
Dermatologist recommended.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Dr. DeLuca.
No, I'm seeing that meme.
But ain't that a Grey's Anatomy doctor? That is a Grey's Anatomy. But no, I mean, we got the script. Frank, the script has been written for this moment. South Carolina versus Iowa. Caitlin Clark versus the undefeated Goliath that is the South Carolina program.
I want to see a piss off Caitlin Clark, who was not the recipient of the Don Staley Award for her last and final college.
Okay, about that. Hold on.
Which is crazy.
Hold on, because if Hannah Hidalgo won it, and it's like, I don't have a problem with that. Because Hannah, I feel like, got shafted for a lot of awards just off the strength of there being a talent logjam. And then she did get the attention boost, right? So I'm kind of like, I want Hannah to get hers too. I'm sorry. So I didn't mind her not winning it this year. She got player of the year. She got everything else. And if you already got 3 of them things, like, girl, move. You good.
It's kind of like when Taylor Swift won at the VMAs, but then Beyonce wins the big one. You know, like I kind of see Kanye's point. Like, huh?
Girl going up on stage and interrupting Hannah Hidalgo.
Caitlin Clark had the best season of all time. Like, are you serious?
First of all, I would never treat kids like that. First of all, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
You're more of a little mama. You interrupt the adults.
You know what I'm saying?
Tyler don't even know what's going on right now. We're digging into the archives. Yeah. We just had to explain to him what VH1 was.
This is crazy.
It wasn't playing what it was.
Like back when it wasn't just ridiculousness on loop for 24 straight hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't lying. That's true. But no, we got the script. We got this is it really feels like this feels like Caitlin's story. Like, it feels damn near destiny.
Were they her story instead of history?
No.
Like,
I'm sorry. We left the ring on the table last year. We coming back to get it. I'm sorry.
And that's what's crazy is that these are two stories that are now colliding. Like, these are two had either one of these happened in their own season, they would be fantastic storylines into the championship. And now we got both of them colliding.
We're gonna get I have the script. It's right here. We're getting a Raven Johnson dagger over Caitlin to seal the game for Dawn's third championship. Mark it. Stamp it. Book it.
That might be it.
That's good. Listen, I'll have that one ready to post just in case. That would be something. That would be.
I have the script.
Cinema. Okay.
Cinema.
Absolute
cinema. Well, listen, I'm ready for the cinema. We're gonna be back here, whatever happens. Whether it's the Raven dagger, if it's Caitlin stamping her legacy forever, if it's Dawn getting ring number 3, no matter what it is, we're gonna be back here on Sunday to talk about it, to put a bow on this NCAA tournament.
It's actually just the gift wrap. The bow is what we got coming.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. We just wrapping up the gift, and then next week before the draft, we got some fun to wrap this season up. But man,
I'm gonna be drunk, so it's going to be
perfect, great.
Either celebratory or coping.
Yeah, the ISO is gonna go crazy one way or another. All I'm hearing, regardless, is that everybody here. All I'm hearing is that everybody here needs to be back here on Sunday, one way or another. One way or another. We appreciate everyone for coming through tonight to the No Cast Stays post-game show. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell down below because, yes, we are going to be back here for a post-game show after the National Championship, but I promise you there's so much more coming. Interviews that are being lined up as we speak. Some great ways to wrap up this NCAA season, and then, folks, it's straight to the WNBA draft. It ain't stopping over here. See, TJ gets it. So ready for the W season? Everyone subscribe for Shawnee's ISO? Come on now, y'all. Come on. Y'all getting it. All I'm hearing is that the message is stay tapped in here with the No Cap Space. You can find all the links that you need down below in the description. And y'all, we'll see y'all on Sunday after some history is made one way or another. Bye, everyone.